And boom, just like that, it's Thursday night. And you know what that means? It's party time with the video.
Oh.
I'm Bobby Munson. That man beside me, you know how to do this, people. He's the man with the angelic voice, Papa Smokes. Papa Smokes, how are you doing, brother?
Munson, I'm doing great. Another Thursday night, another Ring Respect Radio, and ooh, baby, another trivia night.
Another trivia night indeed, and we're going to wait till we've got our participants here in the chat with us, Papa Smoke, so we can shoot the shit a little bit, you know, as we get off the hop here at Ring Respect Radio. As we say hello to Bobby Stats, the man with all the stats, Bobby Petito, coming up now saying that Tom Lawler is going to be wrestling against Matthew Justice at the MLW Fusion taping on February the 3rd. We know that February the 3rd is MLW Superfight coming up, but MLW is also presenting a free card this coming Saturday. You'll be able to get that on YouTube, BN Sports. They're going to be doing one of these just announced today every single month. They are going to have a live event on Triller TV Plus. Plus, they're going to be giving you those tapings in a 2-hour format, absolutely free of charge. Thanks to our friends over at Major League Wrestling. So you know what? That means this Sunday on Point of View, you're going to be able to join me for a watch along of Reload this coming Sunday. So we're going to check that out on Sunday. No spoilers, because we're going to be gearing up to watch some good wrestling. I'm looking forward to it. MLW's got some great things going on here, Papa Smokes.
No, and ever since they kind of got their attention back from that lawsuit with Vince McMahon and all the rest of that stuff, it seems like they're pulling themselves into a new sense of focus. And I'm optimistic about this because this past year wasn't the best year for that company, product-wise or consumability of product-wise, but I've got optimism for the future.
I do too, and of course, optimism about this new partnership that was just announced from Major League Wrestling with Oceania Pro Wrestling out of Australia. Now, I know I've done a lot of work with Australian wrestling in terms of writing journalism out of there. Never came across Oceania. I don't know if they're a new product in the last little while or not, or maybe they existed and they're just one of the ones that I wasn't covering at the time. But this is fantastic news because there is a lot of solid talent that comes out of the Australian market, and allowing MLW talent to have that open door with OPW out there in Australia is going to be great for both parties.
Oh, good day, Munson. Let's get a little action from down under going on. I'm excited. I don't know if this company, very cool name for an Australian company. Let's see what they got cooking over there. We'll trade them a couple wrestlers for a couple back.
Yeah, it's only going to make these live events more enjoyable at the same time, too. We got lots of those coming up again. As Bobby mentioned, on February the 3rd, it's Super Fight coming at you, courtesy of Triller TV Plus. So make sure that you're watching on Triller TV Plus. I'll definitely be doing the watch-along tailgate party. And Papa Smokes, you know, as always, if you happen to be free that night, your seat is always there, brother. Your seat is always there for it.
Hell yeah, Munson. It's a little tough with my shoot job sometimes, but I'm always down.
I know it is. Let's see. Bobby's coming in with a little information here. Oceania Pro Wrestling did an event with Impact Wrestling just last year. Fantastic news to hear. Impact Wrestling, or now the rebranded TNA Wrestling, did some excellent work last Saturday. Alexander Hammerstone making his debut over there. Nick Nemeth making a debut for TNA Wrestling there to end that night. A reasonably solid card through most of the night as well too there. I took that in. The wife and I watched it. I did the post show with Astrid here on the channel as well too, and it was a lot of fun, I gotta say, Papa Smokes. And there's a rumor, a buzz that Thursday nights could be very, very exciting here on the channel very soon, because I can now say that we are going to have, following us on Thursday nights very soon, coming up in February, it is going to be the Honor Ramble. It is going to be the post show to the weekly ROH programs, and it's going to be hosted by Kyle Sparks, and he's got a very, very special guest that's going to be joining him week in, week out. I will allow that to be announced closer to the time. It's going to be a great show. Looking forward to that. But now there's some buzz going on in the back room here at OLE that we might be working on something for an Impact post show that same night. So we might be sharing a very long, very exciting night with many different people, Pop Smokes, that are going to be giving all the best on the smaller scale of things. Not going after the big guys. We're going after the heart of professional wrestling, and that is the smaller companies and the independent fighters that just won't die.
That's the way I look at it too. And when we needed content years ago for this show, and we're kind of wondering, we wanted a current show to review, and we kind of decided on MLW. There's a handful of podcasts about MLW already, but not so many, not 10,000 million like there are for the big companies. How would a viewer ever decide or even sort through all the podcasts to try some and want to listen to some? I think it's a good idea like this, and I like Ole's kind of commitment to honoring some of the smaller companies and giving them the attention. And some of these stars are the stars of tomorrow, of course, too.
Yeah, and I got to say all the credit to Astrid Pizarro, who has been really on top of all of this. Papa Spokes really try to work in reaching out to a lot of people out there that have interest or are wanting to get into doing post shows for these companies and being on top of really bringing that to the forefront of our local establishment. I mean, she's been spearheading the entire project. We got some great people coming in, very knowledgeable people that are going to do a lot of respect to these companies and a lot of respect to the channel as well, too. And I'm very excited for the opportunity to be able to share Thursday nights with a lot of great people.
Sweet. And speaking of Astrid Pizarro, I wanted to make a statement concerning the recent allegations about Papa Smokes being a Taylor Swift fan.
Oh, wow.
Now I've got this to say about this situation. I've heard the allegations, but I'm just going to shake it off. And I have no bad blood towards Ms. Swift, but I must say that we are never, ever getting back together again. That's the end of my statement.
All right. The statement made by Papa Smokes. You heard it right here on Ring Respect Radio. But yes, Papa Smokes, trivia night's looking a little grim at the moment here. I think we're going to have to wait for some more competitors. I mean, we're going to be handing Bobby the title at this rate over on the YouTube side, and the Twitch championship is going to go vacant at this rate. And, you know, I did a lot of research getting this all ready. I got a special themed night here for us. I think it's very fitting to the month of January. Tonight is going to be Battle Royal Rumble time here on WTF.
Oh, yeah.
About wrestling. We're going to be talking about questions from either Royal Rumble statistics or from Battle Royal statistics, leaning more towards the Royal Rumble side because it is WWE's Royal Rumble coming up here on January the 27th. As we say hello to an old friend we haven't seen in a while, there's Chris Parrish joining us up in the house. Parrish, how are you doing, sir? Will you be competing for the championship here tonight on the trivia? Are you sticking around for that? Let me know. But we will wait a little bit, Pop Smokes, for people to start rolling in here. Get ready to compete for the championships. Again, both our current champions have not shown themselves here tonight. So I think there's very strong opportunity to see the crowning of some new champions here if we go at this rate. But we'll see what happens as we kind of roll along. But what I was just thinking about this, Pop Smokes, because we were doing a little bit of Prairie Pro Wrestling stuff here before we went on the air. Of course, we call matches on a Thursday night, and it's getting pretty darn close to February. And I know the announcement hasn't been made official, but I do know for a fact that there is a planned time in February that we will be having the very first Prairie Pro Wrestling show of 2024. So that's going to be a great time. And champions, real men win both. Well, you also lost both, sir, because you didn't show up in the last one. So just saying. But you are here tonight. I'm putting you down on the Twitch side. It's Ed Fries joining us in the house. Ed Lee is the co-host taking over. Ed of Marvel Talk. And speaking of Marvel Talk, Ed, you still guys planning to go live after Ring Respect here tonight to give us a little bit of a insight into the release of Disney's Echo Season 1 for the Marvel Universe? Kind of curious. Let me know. That'll get in the way. That'll stop a person from getting there. Yes, you are going live right after us. Perfect. Ed, are you competing for the YouTube championship here tonight? That is my next question. Let me know, and I will write your name down, and we'll be starting in a short bit as we are starting to get people finally rolling in here.
I have the feeling Ed's going to be good at Royal Rumble trivia. I have just a sneaking suspicion.
I think so too. So we're going to write down Ed over on the YouTube side here. And again, we are just going to give it a short little bit before we start running through the rules and everything like that to get things going. And then on that note, Diaper's got to get some. So enjoy the show. Have a good night, Parrish. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it. But right now, currently, I mean, at this rate, Pop Smokes, there's going to be a vacant Twitch title. I mean, I'm starting thinking you and I might need to hop over onto our own personal Twitch side here just to answer for the sake of it, although I kind of got the answer key, so I don't know how fair that might be.
Yeah. I'm kind of hoping that the BDJ manages to log on. He's always a good Twitch guy.
Hey, this might be his chance to get the win by default over on the Twitch side if he gets his ass in here. So we got Bobby saying, who would you guys like to see Janai Kai wrestle at MLW's Superfight? I believe, like, is Tiara James not had her shot yet? I believe that would be the most logical one. I know that she had called for her shot at one point in time. I don't know if it ever happened. I might have missed that. If she has, then obviously not Tiara James and somebody else, but it was the name that quickly came to mind. I guess they seem to be pushing Zeta Steel, but that kind of feels like heel versus heel at that point, if you ask me.
Yeah, how about what's her name? Everett. Her last name is Ava Everett. Yeah. How about her? She's had featherweights matches in MLW. Has she had a title shot?
She had the match with Delmy Exo title for title, where she lost her title.
That's
and then
right.
She ended up winning her belt back in Germany against Delmy. Bobby saying Tiara James did have a match. It was in a triple threat matchup. So triple threat matchup there that she lost. But again, hasn't had that one-on-one either at the same time. So who do you have in mind, Bobby? Who should go against the champion, Janai Kai? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they could keep bringing in talent from other companies right now to go against Janai Kai as long as it's not whoever the hell. I want to push it out of my memory. The dumpster fire that was Janai Kai's last matchup there. It was one of these goofy women's matches that ended up her opponent jumped on a bicycle and had a superhero costume on, and she rode the bicycle around the outside of the ring, and Janai Kai stood there waiting for her to deliver a clothesline from the bicycle, and it made the champ look the weakest she has looked since debuting in MLW. I was very disappointed that they would put her in that situation. Oh, look at Ed's going to play on the Twitch side. Ed's looking to go for double gold here tonight, Papa Smokes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Ed sees opportunity right there. He sees nobody competing on that side and figures, why not go for the gold? It's there for the taking. So, I mean, I guess we'll get started here. What do we say? Give it another 3-4 minutes before we officially get going, and anybody who comes in late is going to have to play catch up, I guess.
One thought I wanted to add about possible featherweights having matches in MLW is that I think I might have said it before, but I would always welcome back some of those masked lady luchadors from AAA, because I liked their appearances here. Those girls mean business, and then I've seen a bunch of clips and bits of matches since then, and wow, they got a good thing going. Some of that, I think there was a 4-way match when Taya Valkyrie was still the champion, and she, of course, is pretty good at lucha. She can hang with those ladies, but yeah, that would be my vote.
And Bobby saying Janai Kai versus Allison Kay or Shazza McKenzie for that featherweight. I mean, Allison Kay all day. The only problem there is you bring in a name like Allison Kay, you're either doing one of two things. You're bringing her in for a one-time to make your champion stronger, or you're bringing her in to become the new face of your division, because Allison Kay brings name status to that company. So that's, very interesting. Shazza was there in MLW one time, and it wasn't the greatest match. I've seen better matches out of Shazza McKenzie in other companies, but her match in MLW fell short of being anything special. So I don't know that Shawza, after having, that matchup that she did, would come in with a strong enough credibility to that audience just yet. I think that they would have to bring Shawza in for a match or two with somebody else to build her to get to the Janai Kai match. I think that Allison Kay is an obvious fit for any company to go straight to the top, though.
Well, yeah. What about Allison Kay's friend Marty Bell? She would make a nice appearance.
That would be awesome, actually. Marty Bell would be a good fit as well, too. I think. Awesome. Excellent choice, Pop Smokes. Ed saying, breaking-ish news. Okada is leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling. I believe I had read something about this, and Okada now I think was granted the ability to be able to start talking to other companies about his contract coming to an end and where to go, where he wants to appear. So I'm kind of curious to see who is going to be able to shell out the money, because this guy kind of at the peak of his wrestling career right now. He's only going to have so much time left in him. Where does he want to go, and who's going to splash that money to bring him in? The thing is, Okada has had the matches with some of the AEW guys that he's wanted to have. Maybe the WWE is the place that he wants to land. I'm not sure. I can't read this guy. I have no idea, but I'm curious to see which of the two he chooses.
Yeah, there's not much constructive I can say about this. I've seen some of his stuff. I think he's good. I don't think he's as great as a whole lot of fans seem to think he is. He also looks like he's slightly past his expiry date a little bit, but he's a veteran, and any locker room would be lucky to get him. I would say he would gladly accept an offer from the big company, but he could get paid and have an easy schedule in AEW too, so I'm sure that looks pretty inviting.
It could be very inviting too, and who knows, maybe he just wants to make his world tours go about. There's a lot to be said about that, as Nick Nemeth is currently doing it. He's showed up in New Japan. He's showing up in TNA. There's no limits when you can go around, travel to whatever company you want, and work with whoever you want at that point. Bobby, going back to the one with Janai Kai saying Miranda Gordy too. Again, we've seen Miranda Gordy in the featherweight division solid there. Miranda Gordy was a bit of a standout. I would love to see Miranda Gordy make her way back to MLW. I thought that they were going somewhere with bringing Miranda Gordy in, and then kind of went by the wayside at that point. So I was a little disappointed that we didn't see more of Miranda in MLW.
Same. We saw those couple of matches. Looked like she might get a little bit of a push, but that featherweights division took a while to get off the ground, and every time they seemed to feature somebody new, it would fizzle out until Taya Valkyrie was champ and kind of got the whole thing going. But would love to see more Miranda Gordy. She takes after her dad in the ring. Very rough.
She sure is. Ed saying, yep, Okada is done on the 31st, but is doing some February dates still. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see from there. Again, maybe he's choosing to travel. Who knows what Okada wants for his career, how he wants to see this thing out, who he wants to work with, where the desire is. I mean, not every wrestler on the planet's going to look at WWE and go, that's where I want to go. It really depends on your style, what you foresee for your future, what you want to be remembered for. Again, not everybody is fit for the WWE's style, just like WWE isn't always fit for everybody else's style necessarily.
Well, as the famous trainer Rick Rogers always says, when he trains meticulously these young wrestlers, these fresh wrestlers, he trains them the old school way, the right way, how to do it, and then he always tells them, remember all this and do it my way always. Unless Vince calls you up, and forget everything I taught you and do what they tell you.
He's a smart man, that Rip Rogers. And
yeah.
Speaking of smart, I'm thinking that Ed and Bobby are the two smartest guys in the room here, trying to get championships on the wrestling show here, Pop, or on the trivia show, Papa Smokes. I don't know if we should hold out a little bit longer for a few more to roll in, or whether we should get started and say boo-hoo to the rest of the crew that haven't shown up yet.
Yeah. Tough choice. We got to get going at some point, but yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to give it, let's just say we are at 3 more minutes will bring us to half an hour after the hour here. So why don't we say right at that point in time, we will officially start the trivia. And if anyone shows up late, they're just going to have to try to play catch up. As Bobby mentioned that Nick Nemeth was on TNA tonight, Steve Macklin interrupted Nick Nemeth's promo. So leaning towards Nick Nemeth and Steve Macklin in TNA sounds like an interesting matchup to me. I'd be down to watch that for sure. Again, a lot of great things going on over at TNA Wrestling right now.
Yeah, they're making a push, and that's good. With the brand change, and maybe they've got the green light to spend a little extra money and get some talent in there. I heard that Hard to Kill was a pretty decent card.
Yeah, and that Hammerstone versus Alexander match, that was great. Absolutely great, that matchup. Hammer, like, again, it's one of those things where people forget just how good Hammerstone is until you put him in there, or the people who hadn't seen him, it was nothing but rave reviews about how good Hammerstone is. And the best part was this is a fresh crop of talent for him to go start exploring as he starts to go to different companies. It's not the same old thing that we've seen in MLW where, we've seen him run the gauntlet of people they could throw at him. It's time to move Hammerstone on and see how he can develop out there. And man, this matchup, solid proof that Hammerstone is future, if a star in the making. He come out there looking like $1 million, and while he didn't come up victorious, everything about the match was solid, and his selling once again, because he was having his leg, his knee was worked on throughout the matchup, and you would see Hammer go to get thrown off the ropes, and then he's fallen down to it, selling that leg injury. And again, it was the same leg that he broke in the match with Jacob Fatu that had been focused on. Again, nothing that was really played upon here because they didn't bring it up on commentary. It wasn't really said because it's a different crowd generally watching, but sitting there as a fan, I'm like, that's the exact leg that he broke in that match with Fatu that's being focused on here, and that the selling's happening, and he does a genius job at it.
Yeah, that worked out very nicely. Then he can always use that leg and harken back to his moment of that giving Fatu that high kick and landing on that ankle. Woo, that looked gross for a second there, but Josh Alexander, no pushover himself. I saw the clip of Alexander Hammerstone giving him the nightmare pendulum full on right in the middle of the ring. And if that didn't end the match, God knows what it would take to pin Alexander.
So I'm watching this thing with Munson wife, and I've shown her a little bit of Hammerstone, but she gets to this match and she's forgotten at this point about the nightmare pendulum. And as soon as that connected in this thing, she's just, wow, what a maneuver that is. And I'm like, yeah, I was like, that's one of my favorite finishers. And they protected it. That was the best part. They had it so that Hammer's leg was sold to not be able to get the immediate pin. And at that time, Josh Alexander, ring awareness, started to roll to the outside. They protected the nightmare pendulum and made Hammer look like $1 million in the process without having to have the guy who they're building back towards that championship title take a loss here.
Very, very nice, very clever. And if you follow Hammerstone on X or other social media, I suppose right now, it's neat to see his physical journey that he's taken too, because you remember back during COVID lockdown and in 2020, 2021 kind of years, he went in that bodybuilding competition and he slimmed right down to something like 220 pounds. And he looked so slim, but he was absolutely ripped and shredded and vascular and veiny and all that stuff. Now he's still that amount of ripped and shredded, but he's 265 pounds. So the guy's got the workouts, the diet, all that stuff down to a science. He's figured it out perfectly for his body. You look at him, and he normally runs around at 250 or so. He's 265 now, and every vein and every striation is just popping out of his body. He's really perfecting bodybuilding.
His muscles are starting to gain muscles at this point, Papa Smokes. It's ungodly in some ways. Bobby saying he wishes Queen Aminata was in MLW. I think that ship unfortunately has sailed, as she seems to be working with AEW now, but good for her. I would have liked to have seen her in MLW myself, but so be it. It did not happen. Just like so be it. Apparently nobody wants to play trivia with us tonight, Papa Smokes, and we're going to end up defaulting at least one of the titles over on the Twitch side if someone doesn't get their ass in here. And over on the YouTube side, we got Ed and Bobby playing on that one, so we can let them battle it out. Ed going for double belt. Bobby, you looking to regain his belt. But I think it's only fair. We got these two are here with us right now. We've waited long enough, so I think it's time, Papa Smokes, to start a little bit of trivia. So I'm just going to go.
We still got a battle. Yeah, we still got two guys. We still got a battle.
That's right. If other people join in, they still have a chance to play catch up, but they should have got their asses in here a little sooner. As we go over the rules, there they are right on the screen. As always, rule number 1 is always get Papa Smokes a beer. Number 2, please refrain from looking up the answers. Number 3, you will have only 60 seconds to submit your answer. Number 4, each player is entitled to one use of a repeat. Repeat the question. In the case of an ad break, a pause will take place to allow players the opportunity to hear each question. And that is over on the Twitch side. There will be forgiveness for ad breaks on Twitch. Each player is entitled to one challenge per game. If the challenge is accepted, the player will keep their challenge. If the challenge is overruled, that player will lose their challenge for the rest of the game. Number 6, remember to cut those chat promos, but be respectful at the same time. And number 7, keep it fun and intoxicated because it's Thursday night. It's trivia time. And we got the belts are up for grabs. The 2 champions didn't even bother to show to defend their belts here, Papa Smokes. So we're going to see what happens here as Ed takes on Bobby over on YouTube, and Ed runs solo, collecting as many points as he can over on Twitch to make sure that if anybody does hop in, they're going to have a hell of a time catching the soon-to-be champion. That could be. I'm pretty sure that's what we're going to be saying, but we'll see how this plays out. So we've got a Royal Rumble-based theme here for you guys tonight. Let's go and get into this thing with question number 1. Question number 1 is, who holds the record for the most Royal Rumble victories? And that's in the Royal Rumble match itself. Is it A, Steve Austin, B, Hulk Hogan, C, John Cena, or D, HBK Shawn Michaels? Your time starts now. Papa Smokes, do you have a good guess at who it might be that is the holder of the most victories?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right. So Papa Smokes thinks he knows the answer there. We're going to get to that. I see that Ed has got an answer in for us. It looks like on both sides. And Dara Mason popping in on the YouTube side.
Oh,
so we have 3 on the YouTube side. Dara Mason, I will give you another 30 seconds if you want to pop in on Twitch. Ed is flying solo on the Twitch side there. So feel free to hop in on Twitch and compete on that side as well, too, because that belt could be defaulted. So opportunity there, but we are going to that counter. I'm going to give it a little bit of extra time on. Actually, no, you've got about 25 more seconds to go on that clock. So I'll keep waiting and see if Dara Amazing wants to participate over on Twitch. And we're getting close to that time. We're going to get to the final 10 seconds. I count it down here. Oh, Dara Amazing gets in there as we got just seconds left on the clock. 4, 3, 2, 1. And there we go. Time is up on that. The answers are in. Everybody over on this side is giving the exact same answer. Papa Smokes, what would your guess have been?
I think that it's Hulk Hogan. He has 4 or 5 Royal Rumble wins, something like that.
Unfortunately for you, Papa Smokes, you are incorrect. So the answer right here, as the chat has given us across the board, it is Stone Cold Steve Austin. Give me a hell yeah. And Ed saying, isn't Austin tied with someone for 3? As far as the statistics I looked up, Ed, and I know my paid statistics are a lot more reliable than Mark Talks Wrestling's page statistics that he looks up sometimes. I'm pretty sure that Austin holds 3, and there's a lot that are on 2. So there's a lot that are right behind him there with the possibility of going there. But yes, we have points around the board for everybody. So Ed, Bobby, Dare Amazing, all on the YouTube side, and Ed and Dare Amazing on the Twitch side, all at one. Don't worry. I'm pretty sure we're going to have some tiebreaker go here. I've got a doozy of a tiebreaker at the end of this. I can't wait to bring it out because I know we're going to go that far. Some of these, I'm just teeing this shit up for you guys. I swear. Question number 2 of the night. The numbers 1 and 2 are the most difficult positions to win from in a Royal Rumble match. How many times has the number 1 or the number 2 position been the victor of the Royal Rumble match? Is it A6, B5, D4, C4, or D3? Your time starts right now. And Papa Smokes, you have a number in mind of how many times either the number 1 or the number 2 position has won the Royal Rumble matchup.
I do, because once they started it, they did it quite a few times after that.
Yeah. Ed asking if we name who shall not be named. I think we're going to end up having a challenge down. By what I'm seeing in the chat, we might have a challenge thrown down here on this one, and I might have to go and take a deeper look at this thing. So we will get to the final seconds as this thing is closing. We do have, a different answer coming from Bobby Stats that we do from both Ed and Dare Amazing. So I'm curious to see here. Dare Amazing, remember on the YouTube side to get your answer in, as we got 20 seconds left. I've got your answer on the Twitch side. Let me know over on YouTube if you got an answer for me as well. As we are coming down to the final 10 seconds to get that answer in. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Dare Amazing saying just playing on the Twitch side. No problem there. So we will keep Dare Amazing just on Twitch. And we got our YouTube side. So Papa Smokes, out of those numbers, which one caught your fancy? Which number do you think it was?
I was thinking, I'm not sure which letter it is, but 5, because Flair, Michaels, Mysterio, Austin, and 1 or 2 other people for sure.
Yeah, all right. So I'm kind of curious now. Now, Dare Amazing and Ed, I'm going to ask you right now if you want to throw down the challenge, because I see, and Ed, I don't want to throw your comment up in case people don't want to have the name who shall not be named. And that's fair. But I've got down 5 as being the answer here. And I'm willing to go and look at this deeper if you want to challenge this particular one in general. I will go to the statistics right now. We will start looking it up. No, not counting the women's. Sorry, I should have specified men's Royal Rumble. This was just the men's Royal Rumble match on this one that the statistic comes from. I did not clarify that. So if Ed doesn't want to challenge it, okay. So you guys are basing that on women's Royal. Okay, I'll ask that question. Ed, Dare Amazing, did you base that on the women's Royal Rumble matchup as well too? If so, then I might give the point regardless, because you would be correct if that's the case. And yes, Rhea Ripley did. And yeah, okay, so there's the argument. It was 5 I had written down because it was on the men's side. Rhea Ripley does apply, and because I didn't specify, I think it's only fair that both Ed and Dare Amazing get the point on that one as well. Pop Smokes, what do you say?
Yeah, okay. Seems
all right.
fair.
All right, so over on Twitch, Ed, Dare Amazing picking up a point, and over on YouTube, both Bobby and Ed picking up a point. Bobby did have 5 for the men's side, so we will count that as well too. So playing it fair, everybody gets a point still. Everybody is at exactly 2 as we go to number 3. This is an interesting one. The Warlord, Sheamus, and No Way Jose hold the same time for shortest time in a Royal Rumble match. What was that time? Is it 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, or 2 seconds? Your time starts now. Papa Smokes, are you familiar with how short a time any one of these gentlemen spent in a Royal Rumble matchup on their worst day?
Yeah, you know me. The one I remember is the Warlord, and it was Hulk Hogan that basically hip tossed him over the top rope as soon as he got in. So I'm just trying to count it in my head of how many seconds I think it is.
You got it. So we got a variety of answers coming in over on both ends of the fence here as we're counting her down here, Pop Smokes. But it looks like, again, I think we've got everybody in who's currently in here. So I'm going to say we'll call that answers are locked. And I'm going to ask you what your thoughts are on this, Papa Smokes. What was the time that any one of these gentlemen on their worst day entered the Royal Rumble and exited? And are we have we frozen out Papa Smokes on this one? This is the one time of the show, definitely the Papa Smokes glitches out there as we've got answers from the crowd. We will also wait for Papa Smokes to find his way back into the show here with us. I'm sure he will be back momentarily as seeing Dare Amazing's got 2 seconds down. Ed put 3 seconds down. Bobby with 5 seconds. Ed's got 3 seconds on both sides of the fence. And still not seeing Papa Smokes just yet. Papa Smokes, are you revived? Are you with us there, sir? He is still down and out. So, again, we're going to continue on. Oh, he has dropped completely. He will be back in just a second here. So I want to go ahead and give him a chance. Here he comes. There's Papa Smokes returning to the fold. How are you doing?
It booted me right out, Munson.
Yeah, you got the boot there, sir. So what would be your answer? How many seconds at their worst were these gentlemen in and out of the Royal Rumble?
I'm going with 5.
5 seconds. So you would have agreed with Bobby, and unfortunately would be wrong because the one picking up the points here is on the Twitch side of things. They're amazing. 2 seconds that any one of these three men at their shortest, they hold the record for shortest time at 2 seconds in a Royal Rumble match, in and out just like that. So that means, Dare Amazing, I will jot you down as you take the lead now, 3-2 over on the Twitch side. We're still tied up over on the YouTube side between Ed and Bobby to decide the championships. So we got a very, very tight match here as we're going to question number 4, not including the greatest Royal Rumble. Who has the single most eliminations in a single Royal Rumble matchup? And this does apply to the men's and the women's, just not the greatest Royal Rumble. Most eliminations in a single Rumble match. Is it A, Kane, B, Shayna Baszler, C, Brock Lesnar, or D, Bianca Belair? Your time begins right now. Papa Smokes, your thoughts on this one? Who do you think holds the single most as we go and say hello to our good friend Astrid Pizarro up in the house? Astrid, how are you doing? Do you want to participate in this trivia? It's going on question number 5 yet next, but you do have some time to catch up for sure. So we've got Ed over on the YouTube side giving an answer. We got Dare Amazing. We got Ed over on the Twitch side giving a different answer. Going with a little strategy over there is Ed. We got Bobby throwing out an interesting, completely different answer here. So I think we have got our answers locked at this point for who's in the chat, Papa Smoke. So I'm going to go to you. Out of these 4 participants, who has the single most eliminations in a Royal Rumble matchup?
Well, I know for a while there that it was Kane, but I don't know if that's still the record. I haven't seen some of these ladies' Royal Rumbles, so I could be wrong.
Well, it definitely is not Kane. And Ed, you're lucky you changed your mind in the last second because the record is held currently by Brock Lesnar at 13 eliminations in a Royal Rumble matchup.
Wow.
So Brock Lesnar is going to give points to Dare Amazing over on Twitch, who now has 4. Ed over on Twitch, who now has 3. And Ed on YouTube, who pulls into the lead 3-2 against Bobby over on the YouTube side of things. So tight races on both sides. Could go any direction still, Papa Smokes. We got some doozies coming up here, too. We got question number... Hold on here. Question number 5. We're going to go to this one. Who holds the record for the most times in the final 4 of the Royal Rumble matchup? Is it A, Randy Orton, B, Kane, C, Roman Reigns, or D, Stone Cold Steve Austin? Your time starts now. Papa's folks, thinking of these four gentlemen and the careers they've had, the Royal Rumbles they've had, is anybody coming to mind to you for who has made it the most times to that Final Four situation?
This one's going to be a straight up guess, Munson. They all sound pretty tasty for being Final Four guys, but I have an educated guess, I suppose.
All right, educated guesses always work. Get those answers in. Look at Ed strategically placing two different answers up on the board. Bobby's got his answer in. I believe we've got all our answers in so far, so I think we're going to go ahead and say answers are locked. And we are going to go over to you, Papa Smokes. Your educated guess of these four gentlemen, who has been in the Final Four the most amount of times?
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Ooh, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Well, you would agree with YouTube, Ed, on that one. We got Ed on Twitch thought it was Roman Reigns. Dare Amazing on Twitch thought it was Roman Reigns. But guess what? There's only one person here tonight that gets the point for knowing that Mr. Randy Orton was the one with eight times in the Final Four of the Royal Rumble matchup. Randy Orton holds that record and will give the point to Bobby Stats over the YouTube side, who has now pulled level with Ed. So we now have an even game over on YouTube side. Once again, Dare Amazing saying, wow, crazy. Yeah, Randy Orton, he's made it there many, many times. Kind of like always being the bridesmaid, never being the bride when it comes to poor Randy Orton there.
Has he ever won one?
I believe he has, if I'm not mistaken. At least he's got to have won one, right?
I would think so. Yeah.
Help me out here, chat. That is one question I don't have down here, but I'm just taking a quick look through the list of winners that we have. And yes, we do. Royal Rumble 2009, we have Randy Orton as a victor in that one, as well as Royal Rumble 2017. So he has won twice, been to the Final Four twice. Yes, as Dare Amazing coming in there and saying that. Ed had said 2 wins as well, too. So, but yeah, which Rumbles for Randy? Yeah. So yeah, he's been in a lot of them, and he's been there a lot of times because again, he's a reliable personality to have at that Final Four. Somebody who's always believable as someone the company could choose to go forward with into a main event at WrestleMania. So he leaves that you're never quite sure factor, and who knows? Maybe Randy Orton will be there again this year in the Final Four and keep that record ticking up his direction. As we go to question number 6 of the night, the first ever Royal Rumble match took place in 1988 and was won by Hacksaw Jim Duggan. What entrant number was Jim Duggan in this matchup? Was he A, 2, B, 13, C, 21, or D, 30? Your guess is as good as most. Time starts now. Bob Smokes, I'm going to gamble you're not quite sure on this one.
Well, I'm not. I knew that he won the first one, but I also, once again, I have an educated guess because the first 5 or 6 Royal Rumbles, they used to book differently than they book the ones today. So I do have a guess.
Fair enough. I think we're just waiting for Bobby to get it in. Bobby's got that answer in, so we're going to say answers are officially locked at this point, Pop Smokes, and I'm going to go over to you to give your educated guess on how they used to book the Royal Rumble. The very first one, what entrant was Hacksaw Jim Duggan?
Well, I'm going with the thinking that in those first 5 or 6, Hogan won 3 or 4 of them, and he always came in late, 29 or 30. So I'm going with 30 for Duggan.
Duggan actually saw through quite a few competitors on this very night, and he's going to give points to Bobby over on the YouTube side and Dare Amazing over on the Twitch side. Number 13 was Hacksaw's number on that night in 1988. Unfortunately, 21 is not going to do you any favors there, my friend. So that means that Bobby, the former YouTube champ, now pulls into the lead with 4 points over on the YouTube side. And Dare Amazing solidifies a 2-point lead over on the Twitch side of things. Things are heating up here, Papa Smokes. And at this point, we can pretty much guarantee, even if the former champs make their way into the stream, I don't know that they've got it in them to stop the fire that's going on with who we've got competing here tonight. I'm pretty sure we're getting a couple new champions here.
Okay, get your vocal cords warmed up, Munson. You're going to be saying that and new in a little while.
And keep in mind that I'm pretty sure no matter who wins here tonight, these are two-time champions we got lined up. We got some new champs, but for their second run as champions, it's going to be absolutely incredible. As we're going to question number, I believe this is question number 7. Yeah, question number 7 of 10. So we got 4 more left here for you. And 7 is Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble match was derived from the Battle Royal concept. Who is credited for coming up with the concept of the Royal Rumble itself? Was it A, Vince McMahon, B, Gorilla Monsoon, C, Pat Patterson, or D, Gerald Briscoe? Your time starts now. And I have a feeling the level of knowledge we've got in the room here tonight, this is going to be an easy one for pretty much everybody, Papa Smokes. And I'm pretty sure with that smile on your face, you're well aware of who this is.
Oh, finally one that I'm very confident in, yes.
And I hardly even need to get the ticker started. Everybody's given the answer. I'm sure this is exactly what you're going to say. Papa Smokes, hit them with it. Who came up with this concept?
Pat Patterson learned it from Roy Shire in San Francisco.
You bet he did. And across the board, we got love for Pat Patterson. So points going to everybody. It's all about the Gaga. This dead saying. We have got Ed now on 4 points on the Twitch side of things. They're amazing with 6 on the Twitch side of things. Ed with 4 on YouTube. And Bobby with 5 over on the YouTube side. Damn, it's all heating up here, Pop Smokes. We're getting closer to the end. We'll see if we'll even need that tiebreaker. And if we don't end up needing the tiebreaker, just for the fun of it, I want everybody to play the tiebreaker at the end of this, just for the sake of playing it. So we'll get there very soon.
And Munson, just as Pat Patterson would say in his lovely French Canadian accent, the people out there are going banana.
They sure are. They sure are, Pop Smokes, and they're going to go banana for these last few questions. We got this one. Question number 8. Yes, number 8. Rhea Ripley is credited for the longest time spent in the Women's Royal Rumble, and it's tied with one other wrestler. Is that wrestler A, Charlotte Flair, B, Bianca Belair, C, Natalya, or D, Liv Morgan? Your time starts now. Papa Smokes, I see you crunching your face. I know you haven't seen these matchups in particular. Might not know the statistic, but looking at the field here, is there anybody that comes to mind that you think might be the one that did this?
Yeah, there's 2 that come to mind, so I'm gonna guess blindly one of those 2.
That's fair. I'm just waiting for Ed's YouTube answer, which I'm sure is going to probably match his Twitch answer before we call time on this one. Well, Ed, you could say a second less. The time that I read matched, but you've all got the same answer there, which is the one that's right. But we're gonna let Papa Smokes take a stab at it first.
Oh, so everybody's right. So now I have to take my guess and be wrong.
Fair enough, Pop.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going Bianca Belair.
Bianca Belair would have been a solid guess, but this is the name that you should have been guessing. It's Liv Morgan, who has that distinction alongside Rhea Ripley. And it seems like our chat had a very good knowledge of this statistic for Liv Morgan, who now earns them all another point here tonight. But
she weighs like 95 pounds. How do you not throw her out of there?
She stuck well to the ground and made sure to hold in there tight. She did well. She did very well there that night. Liv has come a long way and done really good things. So kudos to her for holding that accolade alongside, Rhea Ripley, one of the greatest women's wrestlers / wrestlers, period, on the planet today.
Yeah, that one I can see. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, 2 more questions for everybody as we are seeing now Dare Amazing with 7. So again, Dare Amazing only needs 1 more point on the Twitch side of things to solidify the title win. So Dare Amazing needs to miss, and Ed needs to start hitting some out of the park here on the Twitch side of things to have a chance there. Over on the YouTube side, a little tighter on that one. We've got a 6-5 race with Bobby Stats, former YouTube champion, currently in the lead, looking to solidify his second run as the champion here. As we go to question number 9, this one, we'll see how people do on this one. NWA's Jim Crockett Promotions held an annual bunkhouse stampede where weapons were allowed. In what year was this introduced? Was it A, 1985, B, 1979, C, 1981, or D, 1984? Your time starts now. And Papa Smokes, I know that's a little bit more into your side of things, a little bit more in your time, but are you sure? Are you aware of when the year this might have started?
Well, no, but I'm trying to work it out in my head here. Which year might be more likely? I was thinking later in the 80s than that, so I got a little work to do.
All right. So Ed's asking for a repeat of the choices. Ed, your repeat of the choices. It's A, 1985, B, 1979, C, 1981, or D, 1984. As the timer ticks down, we have time, though, to say good evening to the third video bro. Mr. Basser is up in the house. How you doing, Basser? Can't wait to hopefully meet up with you this weekend, my man. We'll maybe have a beer and a puff or something like that. It's been a long time. You know, gotta have a little bit of a hangout there. Get ready for for the upcoming PPW. That's definitely happening in February here. No official date announcement yet, but it's coming. It's on its way. And we are out of time there. Time is up. Answers are in. And we're going to go back to the question here, Papa Spokes. When was that weapons were legal inside the bunkhouse stampede? What year did that come about?
Munson, I'm going with 1985.
And Papa Spokes, ding, 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 ding. Your knowledge serves you well, sir. 1985 is the answer. So that means that Dare Amazing, the only one that's picking up a point, and you know what that means? If Dare Amazing's the only one picking up a point on Twitch, I can officially say, and your winner, and new Twitch International Intercontinental Champion of the World, Dare Amazing! Two-time champ. Congratulations, Dare Amazing. Feel free to partake in the last question still on the Twitch side of things. It's still going to be a whole hell of a lot of fun. Yes, congratulations from Ed there on that side. And Ed still got a bit of a chance on YouTube for sure. Dare Amazing, hell yeah. And thank you to Ed. We know that Bobby is 1 point up on the YouTube side. Bobby needs to get this run right in order to solidify his victory. But if Bobby misses and Ed gets this one right on YouTube, we will be forced in that tiebreaker. And like I promised, we're playing that tiebreaker no matter what, just for the hell of it here tonight. But I come to you with question number 10 of the evening. WCW created a concept known as World War III, a 3-ring battle royal consisting of how many wrestlers? Is it A, 30, B, 60, C, 40, or D, 50? Your time starts now. Papa Smokes, do you recall the World War III concept?
Yeah, I do, even though it didn't go over so great. But I remember, and I think I have a yes for this. I even think I consciously remember this number, but I might just be inventing it in my head.
That's right. So we've got most of the answers in, just waiting on Bobby Stats to get his answer in there. Bobby, looking to hopefully solidify himself as the champion. He's got to get his question in there. Oh, he's in. He's got his answer. So we've got whether or not we've got a victory here. It's about to be found out. But before we do, I'm going to go over to you, Papa Smokes, and ask you if you remember how many competitors were in the World War III Battle Royal.
As I recall, it was a 50-man battle royal.
Unfortunately, Papa Smokes, you've struck out, and you've struck out to the number 60. It was 60. It was 20 per each of the rings. And when they got down to the final 20, they entered one single ring at that given time to finish off the war. And that means that over on Twitch, for the hell of it, both Dare Amazing and Ed picking up one more point, meaning that Dare Amazing, the champ, finishes on a 9-6 victory right there. So congratulations, they're amazing. And we can also now say, even though they both picked up a point, it means congratulations goes to the new YouTube chat champion of the world, Bobby Stats. Bobby, congratulations. Two-time champion over on YouTube. They're amazing, the new Twitch champion. Hope that you both enjoy your time as a champion and that you'll both come back to defend in the month of February. I'm going to look at the calendar now. Let's give a little bit of a look into the future and see when we could be doing our February one. I'm looking at February and I'm thinking possibly, depending on where PPW lies, I'm trying to aim for the 21st of February, or sorry, the 22nd of February for the 8th part to WTF Do We Know About Wrestling here. Ed saying he's going to go finish and set up for doing Echo, which is going to be coming on right away. We will wrap up here very shortly, Ed. Congratulations to Bobby. And Bobby saying congratulations to Dara, amazing. And also saying thank you to Ed, as Ed was gracious to play along and give a good battle to both these two on that side of things. I'm very happy that we were able to crown a couple of great new champions, second runs with that. And I do hope everyone's going to stick around to watch Ed and Andre with that Marvel talk, talking all about Echo, all about the criminal world of the MCU. It's going to be very interesting. I'm looking forward to watching that show. But yeah, that's going to be it for the trivia here tonight, Papa Smokes. Anything else that you want to add before we go to the more expensive portion of Ring Respect Radio?
Well, I wanted to, just give a congratulations to the winners and all the competitors. What a nice sportsman-like roster we've got here tonight. Thanks, pats on the back all around. Very nice. A little bit of a change this week.
You bet, Bobby, two-time champion. That's right. And everybody stick around on Twitch. We are going to raid out over on Twitch, so at least stick around to give our raid the opportunity to maximize for one of our good friends here. But before we get there, though, I want Papa Smokes to see what costs this show a ton every single week. And that's that big old ticker right there, Papa Smokes' ticker. That's going to let you know where you can find Papa Smokes.
And as you can see on my ultra expensive ticker, I can be found in Elon Musk's free speech wonderland, also known as X. I am at smokes_papa. And then you can find me on the Twitch side of things at papa_smokes_.
Wonderful. There's the ticker for myself, Bobby Munson, where you can find me on all the different socials. You can also catch me on my personal channel, _Bobby Munson, where you can see me doing some gaming. It's been a lot of Mario RPG as of late. While I drink and I sing and I do all sorts of crazy shit. But come join me for that. You can also join me this Sunday for Point of View, where I'm going to be watching the MLW Reload and talking about that live on screen with you guys. That's this Sunday. And you're going to be able to find me on a lot of different various things throughout the week here. A lot of stuff going on with our local establishment. Catch myself at Papa Smokes on Saturdays with Prairie Pro Wrestling commentary every single week with a brand new match from our vaults. We got a lot of great stuff coming out for you. As we are heading over, Pinkies Up, Papa Smokes. We spoke about it earlier in the show. We're going to go over to Allison Kay's channel right now. The raid has been sent on the Twitch side of things. We thank every single one of you for tuning in tonight. Have a wonderful night. They're amazing. Bobby, awesome. Thank you so much for all the love and support. We appreciate you both. Have a good night, everybody. And Papa Smokes and I will see you next week. And remember, next week is our Viewers' Choice Championship Tournament with Old School Classic Territories, Best of the Best Wrestlers, and also a review of the book that we just wrapped up reading. So tune in next week. More on that throughout the week. Check our socials for more. We will see you in 1 week's time. Take care, everybody.